Every single day, millions of English learners open their mouths and then close them again. Not because they do not know the words, not because they forgot the grammar. They stay silent because they are afraid of making a mistake. But here is what I want you to think about for just one moment. When a baby learns to walk, does it fall down? Of course it does, every single time. And do we look at that baby and say, "Stop, you are doing it wrong"? No, we cheer, we encourage. Because falling is part of learning. Speaking English is exactly the same. And today I am going to show you why the mistakes you are so afraid of are actually your greatest teachers. By the end of this lesson, you will understand why mistakes are not the enemy of good English. They are the path to it. You will have simple, practical tools to keep speaking even when you feel uncertain. And you will know the one thing that separates learners who improve fast from those who stay stuck. I am Miss Penelope, and this is your English lesson. Let us begin. Let us start with a question. Why are we afraid of making mistakes in English? The answer for most learners is the same. We do not want to look foolish. We do not want people to laugh at us or not understand us or correct us in front of others. That feeling is completely normal. Every learner feels it. Even learners who are already very good at English feel it sometimes. But here is the problem. When fear stops us from speaking, we also stop practicing. And when we stop practicing, we stop improving. So the very thing we are trying to avoid, sounding bad, becomes more likely, not less. Now, I want to introduce you to two people. Their names are Tom and Lena. Tom and Lena are both learning English. They are at exactly the same level. Same school, same teacher, same textbook. Tom is very careful. He thinks about every sentence before he speaks. He waits until he is sure he is correct. He speaks maybe 10 sentences a day in English. Lena is different. Lena speaks every chance she gets. She makes mistakes. Sometimes people ask her to repeat herself. Sometimes she uses the wrong word. But she keeps going. She speaks maybe 100 sentences a day in English. 6 months later, who do you think has improved more? Take a second. What do you think? Quiz moment 1. Pause for viewer to consider. Lena. It is Lena. Every time. And this is not just a story. It is backed by research into how we learn languages. The learners who speak more, even imperfectly, make progress faster than the learners who wait to be perfect before they open their mouths. Later in this lesson, I'm going to share one specific mistake that nearly every beginner makes when they try to speak. A mistake that actually comes from trying too hard to be correct. It might surprise you. Stay with me. But first, let us talk about what a mistake actually is. There are two kinds of mistakes in English. The first kind is a mistake you make because you do not know something yet. Maybe you say, "Yesterday I go to the shop." You use the present tense instead of the past tense. That is a learning mistake. It is completely normal. It means there is something new for you to learn. The second kind is a mistake you make even though you do know the rule. You are just nervous or you are speaking fast. Maybe you normally know that it is. Yesterday I went to the shop, but in the moment, the wrong word came out. That is a performance mistake. Every speaker makes those, even in their first language. Both kinds of mistakes are normal. Neither kind should stop you from speaking. Think about Tom again. Tom went to a cafe. He wanted to order a coffee. The word he needed was small. But in his nervousness, he said, "Can I have one coffee, please? Big?" He meant small, but he said big. The person behind the counter smiled and said, "A large coffee." And Tom nodded and said yes. Did Tom communicate? Yes. Did Tom get his coffee? Yes. Was Tom embarrassed? A little. But he sat down, and he thought about it. And the next time, he remembered the word small. That mistake taught him something. That cafe was a classroom. The world is full of classrooms like that if you are willing to walk into them. Now let us look at some real examples of the kinds of mistakes learners make. And let us see how easy it is to keep speaking through them. Lena is at the market. She wants to buy some fruit. She cannot remember the word for the yellow fruit. What does she do? She does not go silent. She says, "Excuse me, I want the fruit." It is yellow, it is sweet, like a banana shape. The person at the market says, "Oh, you mean a mango?" And Lena says, "Yes, a mango, thank you." Lena did not know the word mango, but she found a way around it. She described it. This is called a communication strategy, and it is one of the most powerful tools a language learner has. What about this one? Tom is talking to a colleague. He wants to say that the meeting was canceled. He forgets the word canceled, so he says, "The meeting. It will not happen today. It is stopped." Is that perfect English? No. Does the colleague understand? Yes, completely. Tom kept talking. He worked around the word he did not know. That is not failure. That is skill. Now try this one yourself. Imagine you are at a train station. You need to ask what time the train leaves, but you are not sure how to ask the question. What could you say? Take a second to think about it. Quiz moment 2. Viewer thinks of their own sentence. Maybe you said, "What time the train?" Or, "Train to London, what time please?" Or even just, "London train, time." All of those would work. A real person in a real station would understand every single one. You do not need a perfect sentence. You need a clear communication. Well done if you tried. The fact that you formed any sentence at all is exactly the kind of practice that builds confidence. Now let us meet one more character. This is Maya. Maya is shy. She has been learning English for 2 years, but she almost never speaks. She knows a lot of vocabulary. She knows her grammar rules, but she is waiting until she feels ready. Here is the truth about Maya's situation. There is no moment when you suddenly feel ready. Confidence in speaking does not come before speaking. It comes from speaking. The readiness comes after, not before. You have covered a lot of ground already. You know why learners are afraid to speak. You have seen the difference between Tom and Lena, and why practicing imperfectly beats waiting to be perfect. You have learned 2 kinds of mistakes, and you have seen how real people work around the words they do not know. You are doing well. Stay with me. And remember, I promise to show you one specific mistake that learners make when they are trying too hard to be correct. That is coming up in just a moment. It is not what you might expect. In the second half of this lesson, we are going to look at 3 practical strategies you can use starting today. Simple things you can do to push past the fear and start speaking with more confidence, even before your English is perfect. Here is the first strategy. Speak in short, clear sentences. Many learners try to say too much at once. They build a long sentence in their head, and by the time they reach the end of it, they have forgotten the beginning, they have lost confidence, and they stop. The solution is simple. Say less, more clearly. Instead of trying to say, "I was hoping that perhaps we could discuss the possibility of rescheduling the appointment," say, "Can we change the time?" It is shorter. It is clearer. It is better. Tom learned this the hard way. One day he tried to give a long explanation to his manager. He ran out of words halfway through. He stopped. He felt embarrassed. Then he started again. He said, "Sorry, can I explain again?" The manager said, "Of course." And Tom said 3 short sentences. The manager understood perfectly. Short sentences are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign of clarity. The second strategy is this. Use filler phrases to keep yourself in the conversation. In every language, speakers use small phrases to give themselves time to think. In English, these phrases sound natural and confident. Things like, "Let me think about that for a moment," or "That is a good question," or simply, "How can I say this?" When Lena does not know how to continue a sentence, she says, "How do I say this in English?" And then she tries. The person she is talking to almost always helps her. This is not cheating. This is real communication. The third strategy, and this is the one I promised you, is to stop translating in your head. Here is the mistake most learners make when they are trying very hard to be correct. They think of the sentence in their own language first. They translate every word into English, and then they check it, and then they say it. This process is so slow that by the time the sentence is ready, the conversation has moved on. And because they are focused on translating, they often miss what the other person just said. The fix is to think in English, even badly, even with missing words and simple structures. Instead of building a perfect sentence, reach for any English that gets the idea across. Your brain will get faster with practice, but only if you practice this way. Maya tried this for the first time last week. She was at a coffee shop. The person asked her a question she did not fully understand. Instead of freezing, she said, "Sorry, can you say that again, slowly please?" The person repeated the question. Maya understood. She answered. It worked. That was a small moment. But for Maya, it was huge. She proved to herself that she could handle a real conversation. Not perfectly, but successfully. And she has been back to that coffee shop 3 times since. Now, I promised you the one specific mistake that learners make when they try too hard to be correct. And here it is. The mistake is overcorrection. Some learners become so focused on grammar that they correct themselves mid-sentence, out loud, and it breaks the flow entirely. They say, "I go," "No, I went," "Yesterday I went to," and by that point, the listener is confused, not helped. Here is what to do instead. If you catch a mistake, keep speaking, finish your sentence. Then, if it feels right, correct it naturally at the end. You can say, "Yesterday I go to the park," "Sorry, I went," and then continue. One small correction once, not 5 corrections in the middle of one sentence. Better still, trust that the listener understood you anyway. Most of the time they did. A native speaker does not stop processing when they hear a grammar error. They hear your meaning. Your job is to deliver meaning, not perfection. Let us bring this lesson together. Fear of mistakes is natural. Every learner feels it. But that fear, when it stops you from speaking, becomes the biggest obstacle to your progress. The learners who improve fastest are not the ones who make the fewest mistakes. They are the ones who keep talking through their mistakes. Speaking imperfectly is not failing, it is practicing. And every practice makes you a little faster, a little more confident, a little more fluent. You now have 3 real tools. Speak in short, clear sentences, use filler phrases to stay in the conversation, and reach for English directly instead of translating first. These are not tricks. They are the habits of successful English speakers at every level. Tom got his coffee. Lena learned the word mango. Maya went back to the coffee shop. And all of them did it by refusing to let fear win. Your English does not need to be perfect. It needs to be spoken. If this lesson gave you something useful today, please give it a like. It helps other learners find us. Subscribe so you never miss a new lesson. And leave me a comment below. Tell me one situation where you felt afraid to speak English and what you will do differently next time. I read every single one. See you in the next lesson.